Hello, unique awesome people. I'm back in Newfoundland. Oh my God, the past few months have been so crazy for me. I just thought I would take this moment to put on an inappropriate shirt with a bra that I'm not wearing strategically to make my breasts look flat and smaller so that I can somehow fit in the professional world of being a rookie truck driver. I've been living out of a bag with clothes and bras that I strategically pack to make myself look less conspicuous. Needless to say, my opportunity with that last company I was working for didn't turn out. I decided I needed to move on because of my morals and principles, and this is what happens in my life. So anyways, I'm back home now and it feels good to be me. I'm going to work hard to find a new opportunity that supports me being me and that I feel like resonates with my soul. So today I'm going to talk to you about money, because money is important to everybody. Money is so important, right? And one of the funny things that I've heard over the years from inexperienced, monogamous-minded people is that it must be really expensive to date more than one woman, or to, have her in a long-term relationship. It's like, oh my God, I can barely afford one woman. How could I possibly afford more than one? And I mean, that's an interesting notion. It makes sense that somebody would feel that way. I could tell by the response I got from people having this same conversation over and over and over that really is one of the reasons why people lock down with one partner and want to build a future with them, because they believe like it's more economically sound. So in ethical non-monogamy and in polyamorous relationships, the dynamics change dramatically. The relationship structures are very, very different with every single relationship. So that makes it very difficult for monogamous-minded people who are not experienced with non-monogamy to really understand how it works, right? It leaves people feeling incredibly uncertain. And what do people do when they feel uncertain about something? They freak out. They get defensive, they push things away, and they stay rooted in their structure of something that makes them feel confident. So I believe that money could actually be at the core root of why people choose to not step outside their comfort zone and examine or experience new relationship concepts that could in fact lead them to the most happiest and abundant life they could achieve. So I thought it would be fun to talk about that in this video. So, if you're somebody who's just, enjoying serial dating, if you just want to go out and meet new people and go have dinners and sort of like surface level get to know a lot of different people because you just want to see what's out there, and maybe you're looking for the next best thing. People have all these preconceived notions about why people do things. Personally, I really like to go out for dinners with people because I'm a big foodie, so it's really fun to share a social experience of just enjoying food or critiquing food and enjoying that food adventure. So narrow-minded people can be very one-dimensional about what my intentions behind a dinner date could be. A lot of times I just want to pay for my own dinner so that I can prove what my intention behind the dinner really is. However, I would be making sure that I knew that person ahead of time, so it was worth my time to enjoy them during an experience like eating, which I really, really enjoy. So there are a lot of dynamics that make things complicated and confusing. So, I can emphasize with why people, just stay away from things that sound confusing or complicated, because polyamorous relationships are complicated, because the more people you have in your life, the more energy and effort you have to put out in order to support those people. Like, you'll hear a lot of people say things like, oh, I want to keep my circle small. I like to keep my little network of people, whatever, because there is risk the more people you put yourself out there with and that you bring in close into your world, emotionally, financially, sexually. There's so many things going on there, absolutely. So you have to be very strategic and intelligent about the choices that you make, because every action has a reaction. But to close yourself off to opportunity because of fear is a very unfulfilling way to live, right? So let's just say I had these enormous financial goals in life. I want to spend my entire life working towards buying this extremely expensive truck. Am I going to want to buy this truck with one of my partners, or my only partner, if, you know, this particular situation may not work out? Is that going to put me in a stickly situation with the ownership of the dream of this beautiful pink truck that I want to buy one day? Of course, that could put me in a really crappy situation. So I would be smart and strategic, whether I'm in a monogamous relationship or polyamorous relationships, to purchase that myself, right? And that kind of bleeds back into the conversations I had in the video about poly solo or solo poly. That, you know, it's strategic and intelligent to build your empire yourself, you know, so that nobody can take it away from you. A lot of people get into long-term monogamous relationships because they believe they can achieve their goals faster with the support of a companion, which is super, like, logical. It makes perfect sense. But if you start creating your own dynamics in your life and you don't really, like, follow the cookie cutter example of how we're supposed to do things, and you find the strength to, you know, not coward at having conversations that, you know, may make somebody go, what do you mean by that? Excuse me? What? Well, why would you do that? If you don't let yourself be scared of that, and you can be brave and find a way to say, well, look, let's talk about this more. Let's break it down more. You could, in fact, ensure that a loved one believes that you are committed to them long term without getting yourself into economic binding situations, buying a house, buying a boat, having children, all these different things that we do when we're building long-term relationships with people. You could structure it in a way that you're not at risk of losing those things you work so hard for if the relationship doesn't work out. Instead of being kind of greedy and selfish and saying, like, hey, let's merge all of our finances so that we can achieve our goals faster. Although that is a really you know, strategic way of accomplishing your goals. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but depending on how you do it, life can really let you down and make your life super complicated and extremely stressful, which, again, I kind of can recognize. This is why people are, like, apprehensive to venture into the waters of more than one partner, because there's more opportunity for drama and chaos to unfold if you're not willing to have upfront tough conversations to create sensible structure in your relationships. So it all boils down to how you communicate, what your communication skills look like, because if you hash things out properly and you have structure in your communication, then you can avoid a lot of these kinds of headaches, right? So, for example, you know, if I'm dating a few partners long term that have enabled me for, you know, multiple years to spend a little bit less on vacations or dinners, you know, different adventures and things like that, that may in turn have allowed for me to save money in certain areas that I can then build myself the foundation and purchases like my big pink truck that I wouldn't have to worry about losing if a relationship didn't work out. So it's not so clear, and you know, there's a lot of gray area. So for us to continue living in 2021 in our society with our cultural behavior right now, implementing the values and structures that were created decades and decades ago, sometimes it just doesn't really make any sense. Like, I really believe that our culture has advanced beyond our core values. Like, I feel like we as a society have to sit down and have a board meeting and say, like, maybe we should redefine our values in order to match today's day and age. Then I can also hear, you know, old school traditional monogamous people saying things like, oh, well, you know, it worked for all these years and that's why we're going to keep doing it. But, you know, we can see that it's falling short for a lot of people and not fulfilling everybody the way it's supposed to be, right? Therefore, it is time to think of new strategies and create new structures. And so figuring out how to do that so that, you know, it's not your dating choices, your sexual behavior, your romantic tastes and perspectives, I don't believe should be based on a moment, you know, because sure, it's great to have like spontaneous romantic moments, sexual adventures, what have you. But, you know, your life being fulfilling in the end is going to boil down to, you know, what your relationship structures look like. Did you have a plan? Did you have the plan that you see you're supposed to have? Or did you create a plan for yourself and for your partners in a freestyle manner that really works for you more, that makes more sense for you? You know, if you have multiple partners, you know, you have to figure out, like, does this particular partner, have the kind of income they need to go and enjoy this particular event or scenario I would like to go do? Well, no, I know that they can't. And, I'm not committed enough emotionally in my position to want to finance them experiencing that with me. Therefore, I'll let that partner and I share something more affordable when we make plans. And I then have the luxury of selecting a different partner to go and have that adventure or that encounter and experience I'd like to have, who I know can economically experience something like that. And so I'm not going to be like challenging the wrong partner financially to go and experience something that one partner can and another partner can't. So you have to be really conscious and considerate and kind to all of your partners' economical status and what they're doing with their lives, what's important to them. And being able to have conversations like this is so powerful. You'll grow so much as an individual and also be able to build this much deeper magnetic synergy, kinetic, maybe that's word, connecting, I think that works too, with your partners. And so that will translate during your lovemaking. You'll end up having a more amazing, deep-rooted, incredible lovemaking experience because you're building this deeper foundation that oftentimes in monogamous relationships, couples are fairly disconnected from, and they're not having those. And so I believe it directly affects your intimacy and the quality of the orgasms you have. So I thought it would be a good conversation to dig into money, because as a woman, I can tell you, like, when I can't get my bills paid and I'm financially stressed, I'm just not even interested in having sex. So I'm not sure, guys, do you go through the same thing? Drop your comments below and let me know your experience, because I feel like it's just a woman thing, because we're like hyper emotional when it comes to sexuality, and so we overthink things. Maybe that's why it definitely messes with us. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for checking out my next video. Bye.